the way you talk? Do you feel like your team is I mean, it's pretty refreshing to hear you talk. There's been a large span of time, I think, in the last 10 or 15 years where I really believe people have been overtitled and overpaid for a long time. And not in a good way, right? Not in a purposeful way. And I feel like that's shifting as people are aligned with like job security and the fact that it is a two-way street and there's got to be a mutual win-win. You know what I mean? I feel like that's shifting.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that one of the shifts is social media and this open rating system of everything. So I can rate your company by going on Glassdoor anonymously. I can say whatever I want and I can write about it. And there's no retribution. There you go. I can go on Yelp and say it was the worst meal ever in this restaurant. I can stay in a hotel. I can write reviews. And so there's just like, there's a review culture, and it actually is quite powerful.
Totally.
On
that
Amazon.
Is a really good, yeah.
I'm not staying at a hotel if it's got a rating less than theirs. It's a powerful system that suddenly now we've gone to this kind of open source free market where everybody can, in a click of a button, look online and see whether the rating is good or not. So we also have this with leadership, right? So, and you see this crazy right now where leaders are tweeting and giving their opinions and comments. Years ago, we would never have known what some of these comments were made or opinions that people have in private. But now it's all public. And so people are making these judgments and decisions. And when you say, listen, executives overpaid and over entitled, things like that, it's suddenly being brought down because there's an exposure to those things. I had a friend just posted on LinkedIn. I thought it was super challenging. And he said, it was just yesterday, he said, is your leadership team body cam ready? And like at all times, in all conversations, in private or public conversations, in the way you manage people, the way you coach them one-on-one, the way you interview and hire, the way you have to unfortunately fire people, are you body cam ready? If that was public, are you okay with that? And I think it brings this level up of character, of integrity, of who's genuine and who's not. And it made me, I thought through, like, wow, yeah, our business took a hit. We took a hit at the beginning of COVID. And we're coming back, and I'm really thankful for that. Really, really thankful. But all of the tough decisions and conversations and behind closed door conversations that went on, as we start talking about evaluating people and, oh my gosh, if we have to furlough somebody, who would we furlough and why? All those kind of things. Oh, we can't furlough that. You should have said all of these conversations. Are we body cam ready? Would we be okay with those being displayed? And I'm pro conversations being able to have in private. I think we should have. I don't think everything needs to be public. But the challenge is there a high level of character and integrity and purity of what we do? Do we actually live out our values on a day-to-day basis in private? That so much so that we would be okay with people seeing and hearing what we said.
I would say that the companies that are, and the people like you that are doing that, are going to come out of this with, yeah. I mean, well, I think
I hope so. I hope so. But yeah, it is challenging, isn't it? And I think that's the stage that we're on right now. There's kind of like everything can be put out anywhere with very little controls, it seems like. And
it's also like in the workforce level too, not just the leadership level. Like when I'm talking about overtitled and I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about, you know, the middle management workforce being very underdeveloped and needing to reset their expectations, and then employers needing to reset their I mean, it's, in my mind, it's both, right? So
yes, yeah.
And I feel like that's what's in a shift. You know what I mean? And I have very frank conversations with my team about, this is what you're getting paid, and this is what you're worth, and this is why, and this is how you can get somewhere else. But I don't think everyone has those conversations, and I think that's going to come out soon, where more people will have those conversations.
Right.
I don't think we have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, yes, totally. And I think this is where we need to be way, way more clear on what expectations are. This is who we are. These are our values, and they're real. These are real values. We live them. If people don't live our values, then they need to go. Go find something different. It's not bad. It's just this is how we choose to live, you know?
And I feel like you're refreshing the way that you talk. Like, that's refreshing to me to hear how genuine you are and how upfront you are. But like, I feel like for a while I've been told like it's not really good to like talk about expectations. And in my mind, I'm like, that's bullshit, because an employee has them just as much as an employer. And we should be having them a lot earlier on, in my mind, because I feel like that's where their issues are.
The thing is, conflict is either in a healthy way or it's going on underneath.
Right.
Totally. I'm married. Looks like you're married too, I think, right?
Yeah.
There are expectations whether you like it or not. Both sides of the marriage have expectations, and most conflict has happened when the expectations are not met by one side or the other, or both. And so talk about the expectations then. They may be unrealistic, but talk about them. And then you actually come to an agreement of what's realistic. So whatever the expectations are, here are our values, here's how we're going to get there, here are objectives, and here are your personal things that we're going to hold you accountable for. If somebody says, I don't think those are realistic, well, let's talk about those. They are realistic because Johnny and Susie have actually both done them. So somebody has done them before.
Right. Yeah.
And so they're doing it. Can you do it? Well, I can do it, but you've also got all these other responsibilities on me. Oh, okay. Let's talk about that then. Like, what do we need to take off your plate to get these things, to get the job done? And is there anything I can do to provide you as a leader with better resources to get the job done? Do you have everything you need? Yep, I have everything I need. Cool. Let's keep checking in. Here's our rhythms that we're going to check in. And this is what you'll report to me on, and this is what I'm going to do for you. And in exchange for all that, I'm going to pay you this amount of money. Is that fair? Like, if you don't think it's fair and you think you can get more money somewhere else, well, a fascinating thing. So, Gen boomers average tenure at a company was 7 or 8 years. Gen X was 5. Millennials between 2 and 3 years average tenure. Gen Z 2. Less than 2 for Gen Z. Now, obviously, they're starting out in the workforce, but so you look at this trend of, you could call it loyalty, or you could deal with just values of the different generations. So statistically, if most of my workforce right now are millennials and lower, okay, so average age we have is 37 years old in our company. Statistically, they're going to stay with us around 2 years on average. Now, I'm very, very thankful we're a heck of a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
But it's naive of me to think that these people are like, Jonathan, we just care about your 10-year vision. We're planning on staying here for 10 years. Well, statistically, they're not going to. So what am I going to get offended when they choose to leave? No, because I'm not stupid. I'm a part of their journey and they're a part of my journey. It's been an absolutely delightful, fun adventure. We've got an amazing team of people around us, and we're not 100% successful on hiring perfect. You know, we celebrate people when they leave, because I think that's another thing, is when people leave, let them leave with dignity as part of their journey. I've been a part of companies before, and when somebody resigns or is fired, well, they were never any good anyway. And I'm like, well, you hired them. So are you admitting to the fact that you did a poor job of hiring, or are you just saying they're people, they changed, I changed, it was part of their journey and they did a good job while they were here and whatever they did. Just talk about the good of people. What do they do that was good? You have to focus on the bad part. And we won't focus on the bad part of your hiring either. So it's like actually letting people leave with dignity and celebrating people's future as well. Like, hey, what an impact you had on our journey. Look at the great things that we are today because of you, and you were a part of that. You're on our happy alumni club,